If you are familiar with the film No Country for Old Men, perhaps you will recall that at the end of the movie, the sheriff is relating a dream to his wife. And in this dream, the sheriff describes how he and his father were riding through a cold and snowy mountain pass. His father rides past without looking at the sheriff, at himself, the person relating the dream. I'm paraphrasing this from vague memory. However, in the dream, the sheriff's father rides past him without looking at him. And as he's riding past, he's carrying fire in a horn. And he was going on ahead, the sheriff says to his wife, fixing to make a fire in all that dark and all that cold. And the sheriff completes the narration of the dream contents by telling his wife that he says that he knew that whenever I got there, he'd be there, talking about his father with that fire in the horn. And that is a perfect, in my estimation, dear esteemed viewer, that is a perfect summation of what it means to be alive as one who is on the path towards light, as an emissary of light, that we carry within us this fire. And we preserve that fire. That is the important thing, because there are many opportunities to lose that fire, to have that fire dimmed. Although that is a natural part of the exchange of energy when we look at this from an energetic perspective. And it is much more beneficial, in my estimation, to elevate ourselves above superstition, above the whole angel demonic explanation of what takes place in this reality that we all share currently. As we rise in the Satyuga, the golden age, because we are rising, make no mistake. Though there are those energies that are seeking to keep stagnation, to keep the status quo. But when we look at it as energy, rather than this sort of old programming of demonic darkness, it's easy when we are caught in that paradigm to lose our luminosity, to give a inroad to fear, as it were. And that is what superstitious mindsets and all of that leads to. And that's what it was all about, to keep people in fear, to keep them in anxiety, where they continue to go and serve organized religion, get their Sunday fix, and then they can go on about their normal life during the week, never really changing or evolving. But when we understand things from this energetic perspective, that we have a fire within us of light, a cold fire, a smokeless fire, and we understand that energy, that chi, prana, or the God force, is an invisible force that flows through all things. And that God force within us is the fire in the horn that we go on ahead in the dark and we preserve. And sometimes we share it, but ultimately it is my belief that we protect it. And that is from whence our magic flows. That is how we conquer fear, live in the moment, and cause change in our reality. We manifest our reality because magic is change. And the constant flow of energy in the universe speaks to that truth. A magi, a person, a light emissary. And to keep this without getting too dramatic, because just as we don't want to necessarily give into superstitious thinking with angels and demons, although they do exist in some aspect, but I believe ultimately the Taoists, our Chinese martial artists, the Shaolins and whatnot, they had a very good understanding of this reality from an energetic perspective, the yin and the yang. But we look at ourselves as energy manipulators. You can call yourself a magic user, a magi, a sorcerer, whatever it is that sort of motivates you, a Taoist priest. But when you understand that a sorcerer cannot manipulate the world unless they understand how to manipulate themselves, how to control their own mind, because magic is simply energy manipulation. And you must begin by manipulating your own energy, your own equanimity, to maintain composure, to maintain peace within all circumstances. And your intent, it is your intent to be balanced, to be a force of change, to be a metahuman in full command of your God force, then your intent is powerful. Every day, whether you realize it or not, you're using your intent and creating change or stagnation within your reality. Your intent is like a muscle, and it must be used and strengthened in order for it to have a lasting and profound effect on your life. That's why many people seek out professional spellcasters to perform their spells for them, if you're into that. But none of us need to give our power away to anybody else, spellcasters, priests, pastors, anyone else, external saviors, when we are in full command of our own God force. And it simply begins with your breath. Controlling your breath, learning pranayama. And when you're able to breathe in for, let's say, 6 seconds through your nose with the natural filtration system, and out through your mouth for 9 seconds, 6 and 9, the Nikola Tesla sacred codes. But breathing in asymmetrically, breathing out, meaning you breathe out longer than you breathe in, and you do that for a number of times, whatever feels and resonates with your own discernment, your own lung capacity. You activate your vagus nerve, and then you're in the God mind. Then you're in command of your God force, and you need never give your power away to anyone else or any other process except for that simple process of paying attention to your breathing and your energy and keeping the preservation thereof of the fire within, and thus your God force power. Namaste. Namaskaram.